Hey everyone, Strangers103 here today with yet another replay cast. As we can see at the back, good until the game artifacted and then all the ships are finally spawning. This is a Missouri match. This is Decent 24 playing with Pebbles in a Yamato. I mean, it is kind of a failed division. I mean, we're tier 11 battleship playing with a tier 10 battleship, so, I guess the tier 10 battleship should potentially have played, a tier 11 battleship, so, this could have been, when not so failed division. I mean, you clearly read, like, it says, like, it's 1 plus 10, right? So this is clearly a tier 11 ship, right, guys? Right? Right, joking aside, it's a somewhat battleship heavy game. You can see 3 cruisers, 3 destroyers, and 5 battleships on the enemy team. 5 on ours, we get double Yamato, they get a Monty on top, so if this guy wants to spam HE, well, we're gonna have a bad time. We also get a Misery, so 1 radar battleship per team. We get, well, kind of shafted. I mean, Graf Zeppelin can kind of deal with the Lexington if the guy is not a complete genius and goes like, "Oh, hey, Minotaur, let's feed my non-AS planes into it." Hey, which Graf Zepp? Oh, okay, we don't have an aircraft carrier. Got him. Got him. Anyways, opening fire on the Chung Mu, looks like the fighter gets wiped because, hey, that's a Minotaur. So, yeah, it appears we don't really have an aircraft carrier. Taking the shot at the Chung Mu doesn't actually appear to find us any hits, and, well, going to A doesn't seem like that fancy of an idea anymore. Don't know if we have priority target or not. Definitely a very useful skill to have. Okay, we do have it, so we know how many people look like they are potentially willing to schussen us. So, well, I mean, what's the issue with our team? Well, we get double Benson, which ain't bad. We get the Benson Harikaze division here. So if these guys decide to blob up, they can definitely go in and just kill off like things like Fletcher, Yugumo, but like we've got a bunch of tier 8s, they get a bunch of tier 9s, so it's like matchmaking. But this isn't too bad, and if our aircraft carrier goes and clicks the Yugumo, that's actually still quite a lot of potential damage on the Yugumo, who's actually running stock hull. So these guys working together, they should work together, go in there and just kill enemy destroyers. That's what's needed. That's really actually, giving you a good chance to win. And the enemy chopper doesn't actually have a radar, so it's just a Des Moines and potentially a Minotaur, but hey. Regardless, we need to be careful with the team overall. We can't just blow up ourselves up. We kind of need to make a move somewhere, and we need to start making moves fast. Looks like our Benson actually torpedoed down Chung Mu, and it looks like the replay is a little bit buggy with the screen. One lull pen and overpen on the Richelieu. I mean, we're shooting at a bow on Rishi, so it's for the most, just all intents and purposes, it's pretty much a waste of ammo if you want to deal any damage with that load skill. Having a pot shot at the Yamato at this kind of a range is unlikely to yield super great results. I mean, Yamato armor, it's 41 centimeter flat belt, but, there's no guarantees you're going to citadel it, even if you get the shells in to fall perfectly, and as we can see, we didn't really achieve that much. Rishi returns a favor, doing 9 times, well, 8, actually more like 7 times as much damage as we did to him, and we're playing spotted in the turn. So this could be a little bit awkward, but looks like we're going to go down a little bit more towards A and see if we can actually pick up the pace and be a little bit more supportive. Looks like Richelieu is deciding that she actually wants to head in towards B. Is it he or she? If any Baguettes here in my chat, in my comment section would like to tell me. 1 full pen, 1 absorb, but we got the number 1 and number 2 salvoing off at the moment. Looks like the torpedoes from the B group have managed to hit a grand total of nothing. So that's probably going to be our destroyers getting run down by the enemy Baguette. Minotaur kills the Harikaze from the north, and the Benson's probably shortly going to follow. So that's a little bit of an awkward situation right now. We could potentially shoot at the Richelieu even from here. Let me have a look. Yeah, we can shoot the Richelieu, but looks like we're going to try to shoot at the Yamato. That's the direction we are currently heading. And the Benson that was in B has successfully just gotten to fire. This was pretty much a complete waste of ammo. We're not even going to hit the target. But that's the direction we're heading, so it kind of would be nice to, just start thinning that down. But currently, I would say that dealing with the enemy Richelieu in B is actually a bit more important, because if he captures that flag, we're going to have a hard time getting back to it. And, well, currently we're heading in a little bit of an awkward direction. We're being indecisive, and at this point, indecisiveness is really what's going to make our lives really hard later on in the game. Personally, I say get rid of the Richelieu, and it looks like someone is getting rid of that. It looks like Roma is actually pushing into B now. Get rid of that so we can kind of clear our flank and then push down the enemy Yamato, support our destroyers, get A, secure A. It looks like we have a Roma with a baguette cap on it. Slightly overlaid, but desync might... Nope, we just get 2 overpens, so it's a bit unfortunate. But it looks like we're actually heading towards B right now, which can yield some awkward results, especially if our forces on this side of the map kind of start collapsing. And I mean, for Missouri, it's not that bad. We're at least fast. We can kind of make moves, turns, and whatnot. But if we're caught between a Yamato Gyugumo plus whatever's up in the north, and we're caught in a crossfire with nowhere really to park, well, we're going to have a really, really bad time of it. Now, our Yamato looks like our teammates kind of left the northern side of the map. I mean, again, indecisiveness. Hopefully, those all fly too high, so they achieve not much either. Looks like the enemy Lexington has found an interest in us. Let's see, we are actually pretty heavy AA spec on the ship, which is kind of going to be useful. And, oh no, these are in fact HE bombs. Looks like the enemy carrier really, really failed the drop on them, only managing to knock out one of our mounts, I think. And there you go, that's all of the stuff wiped. If you dropped them center line, that could have been a lot more damage against us and our anti-aircraft armament. Now, with the amount of damage we've led, there's no reason not to trigger our heal. Going to use our radars to see if we can't liberate the enemy's Minotaur. Roma's not a big deal, we can kind of just go around the corner, and if we can lock onto the Minotaur, we definitely can shoot that very soon. Our number 1 and 2 we can shoot over already, and they barely, but there you go, a good chunk of damage, and the Minotaur is now deciding he wants to replace ship. Awkward situation though, because the Fletcher's in front of us. If that torpedoes together with the Minotaur, well, we're gonna have a really, really bad time of it. So the question is, what do we focus? What's more important? I would say Fletcher is much more important at this point. Minotaur can't really do anything about this. And like I said, we're going to get ourselves in a really, really awkward situation, especially if that Yamato decides he wants to engage us. If the Fletcher's torpedoed, they're going to be coming in, but judging by the fact that he's getting closer to us instead of realizing that he should just be trying to advance rapidly in the opposite direction. Well, those are Minotaur torpedoes, and there goes the Fletcher. The Fletcher did not torpedo, because otherwise they would have arrived already, and the Minotaur has full dumped all of her port side launchers. We do, however, need to be careful. Our main battery not loaded yet. We push around this, and the Minotaur's turn around. He could suicide train us down, and that would pretty much really be awkward, because no one really then will be in a position to reset the Bravo cap. Leading a little bit to the chopper, spamming AP. Torpedo bombers are currently permanently spotting us, which means, well, we have nothing to spot their stuff, so we don't actually know where it is. Especially that Minotaur, that is the biggest threat, because Minotaur port launchers may be empty, starboard launchers certainly are not. And now we're pushing around the corner. If Roma's smart, she'll actually target our main battery, save the Minotaur behind, who is looking like she's trying to torpedo using the starboard launcher. She definitely would have been able to launch a couple, so we need to be careful of that. Looks like she's panic torpedoed ahead, but a smart launch from the other side would actually be a threat. Heals back up, need to immediately use that. This is why we pre-trigger heals when we're on fire. And now attempting to go for the close pass. There's no time to target main battery, and our rear turret's kind of facing an awkward direction. Our Yamato division mate actually gets a really, really good shot off, so we go a little bit more forward. We don't yet have the angle. That's just... Nope, there we go. We actually did have the angle. Didn't really believe so. I would have personally been safe about it because his main battery wasn't exactly aimed on us. Crept a little bit more forward before going for the warship penetration. And, well, we actually got away with that. So, hey Chapayev, you're still shooting AP at us. That's not really a good use of your ammunition, but here, have some shells in return. And, ooh, looks like it's... Nope, it just straddles. If that had hit, it would at most have been an over-penetration. But we do actually manage to secure Bravo. The enemy team didn't really initiate the crossfire that they should have. The Yamato didn't engage us when they should. Still a Yugumo kind of on the run somewhere. But at least the enemy carrier is not going to be that, or hasn't been a major threat. And our Yamato can actually get into the game now. We got a little bit lucky that the enemy team on the southwestern side of the map didn't handle themselves well. And looks like replay turret desync occurs. But that Des Moines, if also shot at by our Yamato, is likely to have what's known as a really, really bad day. If our Yamato had hit that once, I believe that would have been a kill. And 4,044, that's not a Montana. Actually, well, it has to be, because that's the only battleship left. So that's a saturated full pen against us. Just a little bit of small spot of luck. We're also broadside in turning, so we're kind of just hoping that the island kind of absorbs what potentially could hit our citadel. But it doesn't matter, the Montana's salvo was really poorly aimed, so, well, I guess he was kind of worried that the island was going to absorb it, and there you go, the island does absorb those coming in. Using another heal, definitely now is a good time. Enemy team didn't actually manage to breach, well, they failed to breach either side of the map. If they had managed to breach any side of the map, we would have actually been legitimately in severe trouble with our play into B. So we get a little bit lucky that it actually ends up paying off for us. Looks like our Yamato says, "Hi, Missouri," and we finish a kill off. So that guy had also a really, really bad day, and that basically is the only major crossfire fit down. Because at this point, well, their Yuga was also dead, so it's only one Montana left, and we can angle against that. The Chapa is very keen on shooting AP at everything he meets, and is rather not in position to shoot at us right now. I mean, he does have forced scout plane, and the other target is a Des Moines, which is probably about to liberate Zhao, who seems to be awkwardly in a broadside position to that. But hey, and there you go, rip Zhao. Des Moines picking up the speed, so that's unlikely to find too much damage, but we actually get one full pen that doesn't saturate, so we just need one more of those, and the target goes down. Yamato is going in there to imperialize the Montana, definitely, doable. 32 millimeters of armor. Looks like he's even giving a passing shot to the Des Moines, just needs to hit him twice with overpens, actually 3 times, and she goes down. Doesn't seem to be the case, though. Looks like our carrier fed planes to the Des Moines, but it's not really that big of a deal. As you can see, our anti-aircraft is pretty much intact, so we're shredding these torpedo bombers, and none of them even get anywhere near the target. Pick up the Kraken, finishing up the Des Moines, and now we're going to try to farm some additional fighters. Des Moines does a little bit of AP bleed to us, but it's not a big deal. We can go around here and just go in and show the Montana, who really truly is the Tier 11 US battleship. We're not going to do much with AP from the bow. The Yamato definitely isn't in a position to do that, so our two options are either load skill, and looks like he's actually targeting our main guns, and that's the second option, target his main guns with AP ammo, because, well, I mean, that's kind of just better. Now, our Yamato actually gets lucky that the Monty shot the front turret at us, which means that the Yamato could actually have extended for a full broadside salvo, but looks like the Monty is realizing the bigger threat is actually the Yamato. So we're going to target with, main guns with AP. And we're going to try to box the guy in. And there you go, the Monty derps everything into the Yamato's bow. And that's what you have to be careful of with the Yamato. If you can shoot your number 3 turret at this kind of range, the Montana can also wipe you off the face of the earth with a shot right through your citadel areas. Looks like we are realizing that the Monty is reversing. I mean, the Lexington is worth more damage, but, if you really wanted to be a dick, you'd shoot AP at the Montana's turrets and knock him out. But we are looking very much like we're going for the close pass and slightly underled on the Lexington, so that's a saturated full pen with 1 overpen. Kind of surprising because that's the first AP pen, but hey. Focusing on trying to take down the planes, looks like we wipe out the... actually, I'm not sure if it was a wipe on the return, but we get a massive fail stack on the second wave. And at this point, we can also very soon start citadeling the Montana's frontal... magazines. Doesn't look like we find that right now, but 4 pens is still not a bad result. Monty main guns are currently all facing the Yamato. Montana makes a mistake, actually. He could have, if he had reversed in a different way, he could have tried to angle so that his rear turrets could target us, but all of the secondaries, all of the fires, and our division mate takes up the kill. Chopper has finally found out what pressing 1 does for his damage output overall, and is now shooting skill at us. I mean... currently, we actually have enough points that we can, wipe the Chapayev off the face of the earth. That's never going to be enough lead for the Lexington. However, we can just barely clip the tail of the Chapayev. We need to shoot immediately, though. There you go, number 3 go into the island. But our number 1 and 2 are actually on time, so we do manage to get the hit. Out of heals and on fire mean we do need a damage control party, and we're out of torpedo range, so that's actually not a major deal. So now 8 kills for us and our division mate. We picked up half of the enemy team, basically, and we still have a Lexington to farm. So, more damage. Looks like it goes invis, but the shells are airborne, so it doesn't matter. I mean, if we wanted to be a dick, we could have let the fire burn to, almost the point where it's going to kill us, picking up a high caliber, almost 200,000 damage. But, if you had let it burn down, our adrenaline rush could have done even more, And Yamato wipes a good chunk of the remaining health. However, 1 citadel is the kill. Aim a little bit more ahead. Lexington are not slow. They're big, but they're not slow. But one thing that is slow are our shells. So there you go. That looks like it's... yeah, that should be game. There you go. Right into the citadel. 13,500 damage per shell. 12k finishing this game, giving us 203,228 damage, fireproof dreadnought considering we ran out of heals and survived on sub 10k health. High caliber, we got that in the end. Even though it's a reasonably battleship heavy game, it wasn't a tier 10 battleship heavy game, so we didn't need super high amounts of damage there. Things like Chapayev and destroyers don't have the world's biggest amount of health. Devastating strike in there somewhere. I forgot who it was, Confederate, because 7 kills kind of usually means that you end up with that. I mean, you do need to deal a certain amount of damage. 9 citadels done, 93 secondary hits. Not something you attribute a Missouri with being having an easy time getting, but we did pick up 1 fire off the secondaries as well, which probably burnt a little bit of damage. Otherwise, 52, actually it's 61, considering these are a thing. They're not counted as target hits, you don't get an extra ribbon for that, it's just a citadel instead. 33 planes shot down, the enemy Lexington did feed us a little bit, and he didn't drop properly. His bombs all impacted on the tail end of our ship, where there really isn't that much anti-air. If we landed them more central, and the Chapayev had spammed HE, our anti-aircraft would have suffered a bit more bleed throughout the later stages of the game. Having a look at the team scores, 3,506 base experience, very solid game indeed, especially considering that one of our Bismarcks was never a part of this battle. 1 plane kill, 0 XP, never. Either he quit before the game ended, or he actually loaded in but was AFK, because you will not get planes shot down if you actually escape back to port. Your aircraft, everything shuts off, nothing happens, your ship won't do anything. So keep that in mind. So we were basically playing with one ship that wasn't there. Otherwise, the enemy team actually seemed to perform quite decently, except for the True Move, who just got caught off and screwed in the very beginning. Enemy Lexington does actually get 20 kills. Yamato and Montana do pick up some together. The Minotaur was mostly wiping fighters, I believe. Graf Zeppelin achieving really not much this game, especially not in the opening stages of it, where he just lost a bunch of aircraft for absolutely no use whatsoever. That's the thing to be careful about GZ. I mean, it's actually no what. Yeah, well, no. This is the original GZ, the Gamescom Graf Zeppelins, which is like even better in terms of Graf Zeppelins. In terms of me being sarcastic. Hey, our destroyer division seems to have actually performed quite all right. The important thing about divisions like this, especially if the enemy get more or better destroyers, you basically need to group up, group together, go in there and kill, just isolate and eliminate through use of superior firepower. Other than that, nothing really else interesting on our team. Our division is the top of the scoreboard by a fair margin. We're 1,500, almost double that of the third guy, non-division guy on our team. Yeah, so that didn't seem to have too good of a time mismatch. Kind of got left alone. But in the beginning, early stages of the game, if the enemy, it was a lot of it down to luck. I will just say it up front. We got lucky that the enemy Yamato didn't punish us. We got lucky that they didn't actually breach through the A side of the map, get some support over there. Granted, there's no guarantee with a Lexington on the other side of the map to actually send any aircraft down there to support. But if we didn't, if the enemy team captured A and the enemy Yamato contested us a lot more in B, we would have been in a lot more trouble. If the Fletcher, if the Minotaur, and the Robo combination together had done much better torpedo drops, we would have been in trouble. And, well, in general, I personally would have actually recommended at that point is go down there, clear A, then come back and deal with B. Puts you much less at risk of being crossfired, and that's really what matters. Because this the 2 engagements that we picked, the first one with the Yamato and long range at A, and then the engagement with the Minotaur Roma group at B, instead of trying to swing around them like our Yamato division mate was doing, we kind of parked ourselves in a position where if the enemy team up at Charlie had also broken through, we would have been exposing ourselves to Fletcher torpedoes, Minotaur torpedoes, Roma on our flank, plus 2 battleships, and the Moyne on the Charlie side, who also potentially could have engaged us. So, with that, I hope you find this replay cast useful. Definitely can't take away anything from the result. Was a very good result indeed. However, it could have gone either way. Hope you guys enjoyed this replay cast. If you would like to send in your own replays, send them to replays.strangers123@gmail.com. There will be an address in the description box below. I also have a Discord server. Come discuss World of Warships, my content, or anything else such as food and things like that. Discord link in the description box as well. You're all welcome to come along, talk with me, and have a great time together. Hope you guys enjoy your Easter for those that celebrate it, and take care. I will catch you guys in the next one.